The Osage Indians trying to continue their role in Warsaw while the Camdenton Lakers trying to get back on the right track, and the Eldon Mustangs trying to knock off the Blair Oaks Falcons. That was all happening last week. Let's take a look at how they did first of all in the Tri-County Conference on the Lake Area Chalk Talk. The scores, first of all, Osage knocking off Warsaw 63-6. It was 56-0 at halftime. Eldon actually held a 21-12 lead over Blair Oaks at halftime. The Falcons coming back in the second half, they win it 46-29. The Versailles Tigers, they lose to Clinton 28-7, and California rolling over Knob Noster 49-9. So after 7 weeks in the season, the Tri-County Conference looking like that. The Osage Indians 7-0 on the year. They clinched the conference with a 5-0 mark. Blair Oaks 6-1 next with a 4-1 mark in the conference. California, Versailles, and Eldon will battle for the third place team in the conference. They each play each other in the district schedule. And then Warsaw down at the bottom of the pack, the Wildcats allowing over 57 points per game while scoring only 8. They are 0-7 on the year, 0-5 in the league. As far as the Ozarks Conference is concerned, Camdenton, they lose to Joplin in Joplin, 38-21 that final score. It was Hillcrest rolling over Rolla, Lebanon getting by Parkview, Waynesville defeating West Plains, and a couple of non-conference games, Ozark beating Glendale and Nixa over Kickapoo. After 7 weeks in the Ozark Conference, as far as the league is concerned, the Hillcrest Hornets on top with a 5-0 mark. Kickapoo, Lebanon 5-1. Glendale with a 4-1 mark. Waynesville and Joplin with a 3-4 record in the league. The Camdenton Lakers coming in next with Parkview at 2-4. Rolla 2-5, and the West Plains Zizzers are winless. They are 0-7 in the league. That is how we stand after 7 weeks in the high school football season. Week number 8 begins district play. We'll talk about it with Coach Dan Henderson from School of the Osage. We'll also talk a little bit later on in the program with Eddie Harwood, the coach of the Eldon Lady Mustang softball team. You're watching the Lake Area Chalk Talk on Lake TV, Channel 32.
Agents, what did we learn here today?
That lint balls are extremely flammable.
Well, yeah.
And that 15,000 dryer fires happen every year.
That's why it's important to regularly clean and inspect your vents.
Correct.
Where did you get that?
I built it.
We are insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, ba, bum, 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 bum.
Quick Boat Car in Osage Beach. Wash, Detail, Lube. And now, Mobile Boat Detail.
Back on the Lake Area Chalk Talk, Dan Henderson, the head coach of the Osage Indians, in the studio with us now. And Coach, a win over Warsaw, pretty much a foregone conclusion. Your thoughts now since the game is over?
Well, I'm glad it's over. Our kids have played well up until this point. It's hard to get much out of the other night, but we went down and took care of business. It wasn't always pretty, but got the job done, and proud of our kids and what they've done the last 8 or 9 months. It's not the last 7 Fridays that have been. We played well enough to be undefeated right now, but what they've done to prepare for that from last December till now, that's been the difference. Usually after a loss, the coach will look for positives to pull from a game. With a win like this, what kind of negatives do you pull from to work on during practice? Well, I don't know what as far as negatives, I felt like one of the positives was the main positive was we got out of there without injury free, and right now we're healthier than we've been since before week 1. We haven't really been healthy all year up until now. All of our varsity kids that went the summer with us are with us now, and they're not all 100%, but we came out of that injury free, got to play a lot of kids, and a lot of kids got to share that moment, that special moment the other night. Been since 1985 that there's been a conference championship, and the last few years it's been owned by Blair Oaks in particular, it's been 2 short years ago that Warsaw was the conference champion. So it's to win the Tri-County, and it's a great accomplishment, but our goals are set higher than that.
Yeah, I was going to say, staying on the conference title for a moment, the Tri-County kind of does things differently. If you end up with the tie, whether or not you beat another team, you share the title, but, this one solidifies it with the 5-0 mark. It just feels so good because I've been around since '96, and it just feels so good that Osage has that conference title now.
Well, it's been a long time coming, and like I said, there was a lot of work by our kids put into this, and I'm extremely proud of them and the work they've done and our coaching staff has done, but we took a moment to we took this weekend to enjoy that and celebrate that, but Monday we went back to work and had a great night being Tuesday here tonight. Had a great night tonight and just preparing for our first round of districts.
Weeks 1 through 7 in the past now, and you mentioned the districts. Osage has to be considered the front runner in District 7. Who would you prognosticate to be number 2?
Well, I don't care who's number 2. We're thinking every week we want to be 1-0, and there's probably 3 teams that could win it. And if I told our kids last night, I told them again tonight, if we go out and don't take care of the football and don't take care of business on our end, any one of these teams can beat us. So we want to play as well as we can and just take care of business.
Looking at the bracketology of things, is it fair to say that with the way Osage has been going and the records of the other teams and the competitions they've played, that the only team right now that will take away the district title from Osage will be the Indians themselves?
Well, that's another thing we talk about, that we got to take care of business. We need to worry about what we do, and everything else we feel like will settle out. We play well. We feel like we've got a great chance, and time will tell on that.
Now, you as a coach, I know, will refuse to publicly look past the next game, but there has to be a lot of people out there in the public, parents, kids, maybe looking ahead saying, hey, you've got Boonville, Eldon, California, and Versailles in the other district that you would play. 3 of the teams you've taken care of. Boonville, okay, that they're probably the front runners for that district, but got to be a few people salivating over in the Osage Nation right now.
Well, I don't know about that, and I don't know that. I think Versailles is a good football team. I think Eldon's a good football team, and I don't know, and I think California is a good football team, and I don't know the people that maybe Boonville is a front runner. I think that district's up for grabs, but the people we're worried about right now is the St. James Tigers. So we'll worry about that if and when the time comes.
Well, talk about St. James. What do you have to do to beat them?
Well, number one, we got to take care of the football. We've had 8 turnovers the last 2 weeks, which we played the first 5 weeks. We were probably plus 18 or 20 on turnover ratio, and we got to take care of the football. We've been fortunate enough. We've had those turnovers and been able to go ahead and win. But you can't do that against great teams and great competition, and we need to be pushed a little bit and get into that competition mode where we've got to go and do things right. And St. James is a team. They will spread the field on us, and we've got to know where their quarterback is. He's a 4-year starter. He's the head coach's son, and he's a good player, a good athlete, and we'll have to take care of business on that side, continue to be solid on special teams, which we have been, knocking on wood, all season long, and continue to prove it on offense. Offensively, we've been good. We haven't been as consistent as I'd like to be, but we've got some great playmakers that we like our chances when we get it and get the ball in their hands.
And you got a passing game now too.
Well, we'll try to throw it around a little bit, but we got some kids that need to get touches, and just we've got kids that when they touch the ball, they have a chance to do something special with it.
Let's put up a stat that we haven't seen that much in the past for the Osage Indians. Right there, the state rankings, Cassville, Maryville, and then Osage. I think a lot of people out there in the high school football world are going, who's Osage? Where did they come from? Just what's that mean to you guys, just looking at that stat?
Well,
pretty awesome.
I tell you what it means to us, and what I've told our kids it means. It means the bullseye. Each time we move up, the bullseye on our back gets a little bigger, and that's going back to we've got to be ready to go and ready to play. And those rankings don't. I mean, they're nice, but it's nice to be recognized. Nice for our kids to be recognized, but they mean nothing right now. I mean, you got to go out and play the games, and I'd like us to be in the top 5 or higher whenever that final poll comes out.
Is the buzz a little louder in the hallways though?
Well, I don't know. I think we've got our kids are excited. I know our fans are excited, but bottom line, our kids are there and working hard and thinking about St. James and going out and taking care of business.
Injury situation going in?
We're healthy right now.
Sounds good, Coach. Good luck this week, and let's pull home another win.
Thank you.
Coach Stan Henderson from the Osage Indians. When we return, we'll talk it over with one of his players, Cody Mayer, when we return on the Lake Area Chalk Talk.
Catch up the latest from Eldon, School of the Osage, and Camdenton, only on Chalk Talk. Wednesdays through Friday on Lake TV.
Distracted driving. It accounts for 25% of car crashes. Music, cell phones, food, the list goes on.
This is why safe driving is so important.
Correct.
And it's why the best agents help safe drivers get a lower rate.
Oh, exactly.
We are insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, ba, bum, 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 bum.
Cody Mayer, running back and linebacker for the Osage Indian football team. And Cody, a couple of games off due to injury, but you're back and you hardly missed a step during last week's game.
Yeah. No, it's nice to get back and get some contact, And Warsaw was a nice game to come back, really. We could, just get in there and get a few plays and just feel it out. But everything's 100% perfect, and, it's just great to be back.
Got a little bit of a growth on you. Is that part of the playoff beard?
More of a whole football season beard, really. A couple other players on the team just, winning on it, and we decided we'd go for it.
Who are the other ones with the beards?
Well, we got Dylan McNerney, our quarterback. He's got a pretty big beard right now, and some of the other guys they're trying, but a little patchy, I guess.
Well, I'd reach across and pull and see if it was real, but I fear pain, and you hit pretty hard. So, okay. You've been here, you're a senior now this year, and talking with Coach Henderson, you guys won the conference, you're going after the district title now and hopefully a deep run in the playoffs. What would it mean to you to get a pretty good run into the playoffs?
Oh, it'd mean everything, I mean, this is what me and, all the other guys on the team worked for ever since we, started OFL, in the upper L. And it would just be great to, start out good and just keep the train rolling and keep winning.
I was going to say you've had various accolades, including the Army Ironman last year, and this year just kind of, I guess for lack of a better term, kind of quietly doing your business because you had the 2 games away, but you burst back onto the scene, and like I said, it was like not missing a step.
Oh yeah, exactly. The coaches, whipped me back into shape. Right when I got back, I got back soon, and it was a minor injury, so it was no big deal. So I got back right into the swing of things, and it's been great.
What's the difference in attitude this year compared to last year?
Oh, I like to say, last year we were real close as a team, but this year we're even I think we're even closer. You know, we're really buying into what the coaches are telling us. You know, we're going all out every practice. You know, especially the seniors, we really realize that, you know, these practices, these games are winding down. You know, we only got so many left, and right now we can make, you know, that number whatever. You know, we can have more games, or we can go out there and lay down and it can be all over. But, you know, we're going to go out there every practice, put our hearts out, and then go out every game, put our hearts out on line, and hope for the best.
Now, I'm sure a lot of the underclassmen, the freshmen and the sophomores look at you as like, hey, Cody Mayer, man, he's one stud out there. And, you know, what words of advice would you give to them when it comes to playing the game?
Oh, it's just every practice, you know, you got to do everything you can, every single play. You know, somebody's always watching. You know, some coach is going to see something. If you're on a scout team out there, you know, and you're playing against the varsity, and you know you haven't got any varsity time yet, you're on that scout team. You know, play your hardest. You know, it gives the varsity a good look, and then the coaches are going to see that, and you know that can translate to you being on that varsity team. You know, in a few games, or start the next season. So just.
Well, hopefully your season doesn't come to an end for another 7 or 8 games.
Right.
But you know, in the meantime, looking ahead after high school, what are your plans?
You know, I want to definitely go to college, and you know, if I can play football, that would be great. You know, because I love playing the sport, and I want to definitely go into the medical field. You know, help people out, and that's about it.
What college are you looking at?
You know, I've taken a couple of tours. You know, I've gone to Missouri State just to check it out, and I really like their campus, and you know, I'm just keep my options open to whatever, really.
Okay, as far as colleges and all, you know, is there any aspirations to maybe go pro if you can get that far?
I'm not even thinking about that. I mean, that's something not to even think about. I mean, obviously, I just like playing, and you know, if I could play in college, that would be awesome. So that's all I'm hoping for.
You know, razors are expensive. That's going to take a couple razors to get off, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Anything else you want to add? I mean, it's been a wonderful season, state ranked. I mean, the accolades are there, and you know, eyes are really opening up for Osage, and you know, just as a kid, you know, just what's it all mean?
Oh, it's an incredible feeling. You know, we try our hardest every practice, you know, every day, and you know, to see it all pay off every Friday night so far has definitely been worth it, and we just want to keep it going. So.
And I assume football is your favorite sport.
Absolutely.
Cody, thanks for taking the time. Good luck this week.
Thank you, sir.
Cody Mayer from School of the Osage, two-way player, running back, linebacker, multi-sport athlete. We appreciate his time on the program today. Coming up when we return, Coach Eddie Harwood from the Eldon Lady Mustangs softball team right here on the Lake Area Chalk Talk.
Catch out the latest from Eldon, School of the Osage, and Camdenton, only on Chalk Talk. Wednesdays through Friday on Lake TV.
Welcome back on the Lake Area Chalk Talk. Eddie Harwood, the head coach of the Eldon Lady Mustangs, now joining us. And Coach, not the way you wanted the season to end in the district tournament against, of all teams, Osage. Talk about the game and the end of the year.
Well, no, it's you never want to end your last game on a loss, but
especially against Osage.
Especially against Osage, but everybody except the state champions have to do that. So, wasn't exactly what we were looking for, but not to take anything away from them. Tiffany Erweiler pitched a really good game again, and they just did more things right than we did. We had several mistakes, gave up some unearned runs, but we still weren't able to hit the ball to put runs on the board so that we could have a chance to win. But overall, I was pleased with our effort, just not exactly the way you'd like to end it.
Evaluate the season. You know, did you meet, exceed, or underachieve as far as goals were concerned?
Well, I think, you know, coming off of last year's season with 6 wins, we had 9 this year. So, you know, you have to look at that as improvement. There was games last year where we got beat really bad. Most of our losses this year we were in most games, and at least we're competitive. And that's one thing we've talked a lot about is we at least have to be able to compete and put ourselves in a position where we have a chance to win. And I think we did that for the most part this year. We still came up short several times on games that I thought, man, we could have won if this would have happened or that would have happened. But, you know, those are always things coaches look back and you're always what if. But I do think we improved. I think we're on the right track. Our girls are still learning just how hard we have to work and just how much dedication it takes to get to the next level, to play with the Warsaws, the Blair Oakses, the Osages. You know, those are teams that we want to be like. We want to be able to compete and beat those types of teams. California, you know, some of the teams in our conference, you know, Warsaw was state champions a couple of years ago, so we always tell our girls, if we're going to be like somebody, let's try to be like the best. And so that's what we're working for, and hopefully we'll get there one of these days.
Talk about some of the individuals who really stepped up for you throughout the season.
Well, I think we've got 3 or 4 that probably more so than any. Maddie Scribner played really well for us most of the year. She went kind of through a hitting slump there about the middle of the season, but she ended up with being our leading hitter. Taylor Tim, our center fielder, was a good acquisition from, you know, she moved in from Versailles, and she helped solidify our outfield this year, gave us a good leadoff hitter. Jillian Brundine played really well this year, improved her batting average from last year. Madison Bulch was really our workhorse as a pitcher. I think she pitched all but maybe 3 varsity innings this year, got all 9 of our wins, had a 3.12 ERA or something like that. And so when you look at that and say, wow, she only gave up 3 runs a game, but then we get beat 12-4. You know, a lot of it was our defense's fault for not making the plays behind her. But as far as doing everything we needed her to do, I thought she did a great job there.
Any real surprises that you didn't expect?
You know, not really. We had a good group of incoming freshmen. I think we started 4 freshmen. Our first baseman, Bailey Bledsoe, Lacey Fitzpatrick, our second baseman, Treva Hankey, and then she's our third baseman, and Laura Johnson, our left fielder. And, you know, I knew they were pretty athletic coming in. And they, you know, Bailey and Treva, I think, were third and fourth leading hitters. So that's a good sign that we have some freshmen. And Laura Johnson played a great left field. Lacey Fitzpatrick, I think she could have had a better season. She got hurt in the middle of the summer and missed about 2 months right before the season started from our summer workouts, and didn't really get back in the swing of it until almost the time the season was over. So, you know, those 4, plus we have 2 or 3 others that are on the team too that really made a big impact, I think. We had some courtesy runners and you know, so it's good stuff to look forward to. I still say that we have a long way to go just in our mindset, the way we work and the way we approach things. And those are all things, you know, I tell them almost every day, those aren't physical things, those are mental things that we have to work, and we have to understand how we have to work. You know, it doesn't matter how much ability you have, if you don't use it, it's really not any good.
What would be your main highlight throughout the season, and what would be the low point throughout the season?
Well, we had 2 tournaments, and we got a second place finish at the Tipton tournament, which was very good. Tipton beat us 3-0. We played a great day. You know, we had a great day of softball that day. And then when we got the 3rd place trophy at Versailles, you know, those are 2 highlights where we had to play and win 2 games to do that. And those were good wins. You know, the dramatic win over Versailles in the Versailles tournament for 3rd place when Maddie Scribner hit her 3-run home run in the bottom of the 7th inning. That was an exciting time. The night we beat Tipton here at home, you know, we didn't play that well, but somehow we snuck out a 2-1 win, and I think that was only their 2nd loss of the year. So that was a big win for our program to be able to say, hey, we beat a team like Tipton, who I think finished the season, I think 19-3, and we were one of those 3 losses. So, of course, they beat us 2 other times too, but you know, those types of wins are what you can look at and build on those, and hopefully next year say, hey, we beat them once last year. Let's continue and build on that. So, low points, I can think of probably a lot of those.
Well, you don't have to dwell on a lot of them.
No, I mean, one of the day we had California down 8-4 in the 6th inning, and then let them come back and beat us 9-8. You know, that was a win that I thought we had. We just let it fall at the end of the game. Same thing, you know, we had Lynn 2-2 going into the 6th, and next thing I know, it was 12-2 and the game was over. We just had some errors and a couple of walks, and then they got a few hits, and you know, it's just like you know, we talk about the dominoes. It just seems like one starts falling and then the rest of them come down with it, and that's the way I felt a lot of times in games. We'd be right in a game, and then all of a sudden something would happen, and we would fold. Things would just start going the wrong way, and we couldn't stop them.
Sounding like the Cardinals in Game 1.
It sounded like the Cardinals. But I think that's a lot of mental, that's a lot of youth, that's a lot of just knowing how, when you aren't successful, how to handle that instead of pouting and getting your head down. If you make a mistake, we have to turn around and be ready to go on the next play. And I think that's a learning thing, and we're working on that. So, eventually, hopefully we'll get better at those things, and then maybe we can win some of those close games where we have a chance.
Okay, you took some lumps. However, you got pretty much the whole team coming back.
Got the whole team coming back. If they want to come back, you always hear some of them saying, well, I don't know if I'll play next year and this and that. And, I hope all 13 of them come back. I know we've got about 4 or 5 8th graders that I know for sure are coming out. So, if we could add 4 or 5 more good athletes to our 13, I think we'd be on our way to building up a program here and hopefully having enough that where people have to earn spots, not just you get to play because we don't have enough people.
Will we have the new conference next year?
I think next year we have the 2 new, I think it starts next year, and so that'll be interesting to add another 2 teams and be able to pick up some games against some people we haven't played before. This year we played Osage 3 times, Versailles 3 times. And you get kind of tired of playing those same teams over and over again, so it'll be nice to have some new blood in here and see what they've got.
You know anything about them? Hallsville and Southern Boone?
Southern Boone, we played this year, and they're a very good team. Matter of fact, they won the districts, so they'll be a team that everybody's going to have to really get geared up for because they're good. We've played them the last 2 years that I've been coaching. They beat us 18-0 the last year and 16-0 this year, but we actually played a full 7-inning game with them this year. Last year we played 2 innings, so I felt pretty good about that, just being able to get them to a 7-inning game. It was 9-0 going into the 7th inning, and then they scored 7 runs in that last inning and blew it open. But we at least were, like I said, we were competitive for the most part up until that last inning, and so yeah, they'll be a big addition to our conference.
One final question: when does the off-season routine begin?
Mentally, I started last week, just because I told the girls, it's being mentally prepared doesn't just start when the season starts. Several of our girls play more than one sport, and so we even talk about, you need to be mentally prepared now for basketball or for track or for whatever else you're going to play, and being mentally prepared for those sports will help you when softball season starts next year. And so those are things we talk about a lot. It's just how you approach, how you prepare, and how you practice for any sport, not just softball. So we'll probably give them a couple months off before we start doing too much. Probably after Christmas, we'll start bringing our pitchers in and letting them throw, and our catchers. And then probably around February or so, we'll start having some workouts here and there just to get them kind of going for the summer. So give them a little bit of time off. They need to be kids still.
Thanks for taking time again.
Absolutely, no problem.
Coach Harwood from the Eldon Lady Mustang softball team. We're back on the Lake Area Chalk Talk after this.
Welcome to Quick Car Wash Detail and Lube, now open in Osage Beach. Quick Car Wash Detail and Lube offers exterior and interior cleaning, detail, and preventative maintenance services for your vehicle. Choose from 4 exterior washes from $8 to $14 to interior services for $8 or $12, and details beginning at $30. For your convenience, every wash is done with you never having to get out of your car. If you choose to have the inside of your car cleaned, each service is done quickly while you wait in our lobby. Quick Car Wash Detail and Lube specializes in full-service oil changes, tire rotations, and many other services to keep your vehicle running properly. Every oil change comes standard with Pennzoil 530 or 520. In addition to premium oil, you'll also receive an exterior car wash absolutely free. Quick Car Wash Detail and Lube, now open in Osage Beach. Drive in dirty and in minutes, drive away clean. Quick Car on Highway 54 in Osage Beach, just down the street from Hy-Vee.
Back on the Lake Area Chalk Talk, just a couple minutes left in the program, so let's run down the high school football schedule for this week. First of all, in the Tri-County Conference, Osage will try to remain undefeated. They travel to St. James. Eldon will be at Versailles. We'll have the Lake TV at that game. It'll be Boonville traveling to California, and Warsaw trying to get their first win against Pleasant Hope. Pleasant Hope 1-6 on the year. In the Ozarks Conference, Camdenton will take on Sedalia in Sedalia. The Lakers 2-5 going into that one. West Plains looking for their first win. They'll be at Hillcrest. Neosho against Kickapoo. Waynesville at Rolla. Glendale at Willard. Lebanon Yellow Jackets will be at home against Springfield Central. And a couple of non-conference games. Branson at Parkview and Lee Summit North will be at Joplin. Again, we want to thank our sponsors for making Chalk Talk possible. They include Quick Car Wash, Detail, and Lube, because a clean car is a happy car. Chris Wagner Farmer Insurance, sponsor of the halftime kick for $100 at School of the Osage home games. Also by Scott's Heating and Cooling. It's getting to be that time of the year again. Get your heating systems at home and at work checked before it starts getting really cold. And by Bootlegger's Sportsbook and Grill. They provide some great food every week for Chalk Talk guests and staff. They're also the home of the dueling pianos on Fridays and Saturday nights. We appreciate coaches Dan Henderson from School of the Osage and Eddie Harwood from Eldon coming in to talk with us on the program. And that will do it for another edition of Chalk Talk. Go on out and watch your favorite high school sports team this week. And don't forget to go by the sponsors and tell them thank you for making Chalk Talk possible. Thanks for watching Chalk Talk on Lake TV, Channel 32.
What makes an Amana brand furnace so comfortable for your life? Simple. Our lifetime unit replacement limited warranty. Introducing premium gas furnaces from Amana brand. Amana. Lasts and lasts and lasts.